No, it wouldn't kill you if you did that. Right? Good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life and finances.
So sad.
My name is Yamitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy Specialist, so what better place to be? And here with me, faceless and amazing this morning. I hope you're ready to get the day started. So we're a few minutes late. Look at it in the mirror. So it's like 7:20, but we were running a little late this morning. But we tried a new thing. We packed the car last night with everything but our lunch. And that helped, didn't it, Rosie? It didn't help that when we were ready to go. Rosie said, can you put my hair in 2 braids right fast? Why don't you throw them Pocahontas braids across your shoulder? Great morning.
I said before, like a long time before we left, Mama, can you loosely braid my hair?
It's 7:30.
Really
she said, can
quick.
you loosely braid my hair?
Really quickly.
There's no really quickly.
She broke my scalp, first of all. Second of all.
Do you not have good hair? Are the braids not pretty? And there's no quick braiding of your hair when it's so thick and long.
My ears are hurting.
Good morning. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show.
Good morning, Miss Margaret.
She said good morning. Margaret got her shirt yesterday. Yay. I'm so excited. Here. Because you say I took your pee.
All glowing and I look like a little potato.
I don't know why I'm glowing, honey. It's the favor of the Lord that rests upon me. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Okay. Good morning.
You got the favor of you too. I think it's just the light. I think it's just the my camera is automatically adjusting.
I think it's the sunset. I mean, that's
not a sunset. That's the sunrise.
Sunrise. It looks beautiful either way.
You. But it's not. It's neither. It's the camera. Cause see, look, depending on where I go, you see, it does that.
Let there be light.
Let there be light. Let there be Jesus. A to the man. All right. So, thank you guys so much for watching the show, for joining me. And thank you, everybody, for talking to me. Because sometimes, you feel like you're talking to yourself because nobody comments. And so, thank you, guys. Love you. Good morning, Kimberly. Huh? Well, you don't have to. Stay right here. They won't die if you don't go in now.
Noise is making my ears hurt. So it's either go in there and deal with them or make my ears hurt.
Well, I talk loud, so I don't even know what to tell you.
How do you think I talk at school?
All right. Good morning, guys. So I hope you watched the show on yesterday. If you didn't, please go back and watch it. So today, the Fearless Thought for the day, we're going to do some for real confessions and conversations y'all like. I know I be doing confessions and conversations because I like to share my story in bits and pieces of it. So today's confessions conversation is, and I can laugh now, but at one point I was so embarrassed. I didn't tell a soul. Well, I didn't have to worry about telling a soul because I told everybody, but I was embarrassed when one friend came back and said something to me about it. Okay, so what is it?
Nothing.
Oh, at one point in my crazy, I always tell you guys I'm a fan of counseling. So I had found a new counselor, right? And this is the lady that really pushed me beyond my limits to no end. She was the one who told me to have the quiet time with no book, no phone. She's the one that kind of, pushed me a whole lot. Well, thank you, ma'am. I ain't going to show you the back because I sweated in the back of my head. And let's just say it's coming back to America. And this part is still nice and curly and roller. Because I roller set it during the week. Well, on Saturday and Sundays. And so, yeah. But thank you for the compliment. And that's another thing I had to learn to do was to receive compliments because it was hard. I will talk about that later. So I had found me a counselor. And she was the nicest Christian lady. And so after I'd been through some sessions with her, here's the thing. you get a little arrogant when you start to learn stuff about yourself. I'm just going to put it out there. True confessions and conversations, when you start to learn things about yourself, you get a little arrogant. Your ego get a little big. At least for me, I'm telling, this is my confession conversation, so this is my story. I'm telling from my point of view. Y'all chip in if you can relate to what I'm saying. So my ego got a little big, and I started feeling myself like I'm getting myself together, and the rest of you jokers out here ain't living right. You know, I was feeling all the things. My head got a little big for this here body. So my ego was on 10,000. So after a really productive counseling session where she was, you know, saying, talking to me about my relationships, and maybe I need to be mindful of what I'm bringing into my mind as well as what I'm putting out, and be mindful of the people I interact with. So she gave me an exercise to, you know, to write down, because this is where I talk about how I learned how to evaluate my circle of friends. And in the beginning it was hard, but now it's a lot easier and I can move through it quicker. But she made me make a list of all my immediate friends. And in those immediate friends, I had to evaluate our relationship. Were they givers? Were they takers? Did they inspire? Did they hurt? How did I feel with each of those people? And so I made the list. She was like, don't just list like your best friends. List anybody that you come in contact with during your week. If it's your coworker, if it's your whoever it is that you come in contact with, write them down. Write how you feel. Are they givers? Are they takers? You know, right? So she gave me a whole list of things to do. So after I went through my list, and I realized that I was again voluntarily inviting crazy into my life. Yes, Miss Margaret, learn to filter them friends. So I learned that I was voluntarily letting crazy into my life. Not only was I voluntarily inviting it, I was seeking it out, because I had only known crazy for so long. So I was seeking out those crazy red flags, or those crazy factors in other people, so that we could all be crazy together, and I wouldn't have to really adjust myself much, because I knew crazy. And why would I want to change out of crazy if I knew it, right? So that little girl hands are really full. Why don't you go ask if she needs some help? She getting a wheelchair set for her mother? So after I go through the list, I realized I was a willing participant, right? Of all my crazy. I'm so participating in my crazy. Even with the men I chose to deal with, I was willingly participating in all of it. So after I get through the list, I go and I spend my quiet time in the bathtub like she wanted me to. Right.
I don't know what the door is.
Good morning.
You gotta go to school Sunday. Okay, but not right now.
Rosie's friend Margaret has come.
Her name is not
I'm talking to Margaret.
Okay.
Your friend Margaret has come to hijack Rosie out the car because she's ready to go. And Rosie doesn't want to go to school.
I don't want to.
So, anyway, so after... Okay, listen.
What if I give you half my sandwich? Will you leave me alone?
No, listen,
What if I give you some chips?
No. They're negotiating. So anyway... Can I finish my story?
They're really good chips.
I need to finish my story. So either you get out or get in.
Get in.
No, she don't want to get in. You get out.
I'm not getting out.
Why not?
I'm not going to school Sunday. I'm not going to school right now.
Well, teenager.
You have to go to school by 8:20. Okay, I'll get out of the car. What time is it? So
after I get through my list of friends, I go through my quiet time, and I'm sitting there, and I get the bright idea that you can bop her upside the head, Melody. I just want you to know.
Melody does it all the time.
You can bop Rosie upside the head.
Hey, don't give her any ideas.
And she's gonna take your sandwich.
Yeah, she's gonna take my sandwich.
So after I go through, let me finish the story out. After I go through my list, I have the great idea. After I get out the tub, that I am going to address these people on my list. So I go straight to my computer and I sit down, and I decided to draft an email to everybody on the list at one time to tell them all about themselves. More importantly, is it good, Melody?
I make a good sandwich.
More importantly, in my email, I told them I've been working on myself and that I realized some things, that I don't like all the negativity in my life, and that I found that some of my friends and family have just been really negative. Miss Margaret says, good morning, pretty red-headed girl. And she said, good morning. Miss Valerie doesn't like y'all saying hello to her on the show. I mean, she likes it, but she don't like to be the center of attention, right?
Well, that's kind of hard when you're eating my sandwich in the middle of the camera.
Right. So I told them I'm getting myself together and this is what I'm looking for. And if y'all got negativity, I don't want it in my life. So whenever you call me or whenever you see me, if your conversation is about gossip, if it's about negativity, if it's about you complaining, I'm not going to listen and I'm not going to bring it to you. And I want you to know I was doing that as I was typing the email. And I was just, you know how when you get angry, you hit the keyboard. I mean, y'all, this wasn't a simple email. I had like paragraphs to this thing. And at the end of the email, I said, I wish, it's my prayer and my wish that we'll be friends. It is my prayer and my wish that you will be prosperous in life. And I reread that email like 50 times to make sure, you know, I got everything out that I wanted to say. And then I hit send. And so the next counseling session, which was the next week, 2 people responded to my email out of 50. I sent it to like 50 people. So 2 people responded. One person said, okay. One girl said, blessings to you, my sister.
All right.
And so the next counseling session, I'm on the phone and I tell my counselor, guess what? And she said, what? And I told her what I did. And she just stopped. Right. They should have. She said, John Mitra, send me a copy of that email. I'm still quite proud of myself. I'm very proud of myself. So I sent her the email and she said, sweetie, did you read this before you sent it? And I said, yes. I read it several times.
In fact, I read it 50 times.
In fact, I sent it. She was like, who did you send this to? I said, oh, just 50 of my closest friends. And she took a deep breath. She said, before you send another email, Sweet Pea, I need somebody other than you to read it before you send it out. She was like, if you had sent this to me, I would have forgot my Christianity and I would have cussed you out. I was like, what are you talking about? You the one told me to set healthy boundaries and she was like, yeah, but that ain't the way to go about it. So I kind of took it and ran. So I had one girl, Tashana. Y'all know Tashana. She's been on the show. And I called her. I said, Tashana, did you get my email? Because she was the only other lady that emailed me back that said, blessings to you, my sister. Because I used to be Tashana's first lady. We were pregnant together. So Rosie and her daughter are 2 months apart. And I said, Tashana, did you read my email? She was like, yeah. And so there's like 6 of us. I used to be their first lady, you know, members of our church. They got together and they had a meeting about me. And there was like a phone call about me. They was like, well, Sister JoJo must be going through some things. And so Tashana said she told them not to get angry with me, but to pray for me because obviously I was going through some things. Here I am thinking, you know, I done been in counseling. Love you. Have a great day. Be peaceful. You
don't say
I know. Love you. Have a great day. Have a good day, Margaret, Melody. Be peaceful. And so here I am thinking I done been to counseling. I'm getting myself together and I'm about to tell all these jokers how they living their life wrong. And yeah, it didn't work out. And for a long time, I was extremely embarrassed about that. And I wouldn't tell it. So that's a little growth. So on this journey, when you are figuring out that you are absolutely going to live different than from your friends and your family, when you are on a new journey for new rules to new you, when you are doing a new life that is not cohesive to what you're doing now, meaning if you are living in crazy and you're trying to stop. If you're trying to get out of that abusive relationship, and abusive relationships can be friendships. Some of our friends can be abusive. I'm just saying. Meaning they take advantage of you and the friendship is only one-sided. Meaning you're working and they are not. There go your other water bottle, Rosie.
I know. What? Oh, yeah.
Your other water bottle. So friendships can be abusive too. So when love you too. Love you too. Have a great day. So when you are on this journey, I strongly suggest don't be like JoJo. Don't send out the I'm better than you because I'm getting my life together and this is, if y'all not going to come correct, don't come for me at all. Please don't go that route. It's not going to work out. Even though I sent it to 50 people, only 2 responded. The other ones, when they saw me, gave me the side eye like, now we know why you going to counseling, because you crazy. For real. So please don't do like me. Let me help you in this process. Okay? So when you are ready to live past crazy and you're ready to develop those new relationships, right? This is what I've learned to do now. Friends have to have the respect first. So this is how I do it now. That has made it easier for myself. Number one, I always check my ego and my mouth and my attitude. Always. Period. I always check my ego, my mouth, and my attitude because I want what I have to say to be received in the right way. Yes, we are. That's why I am my sister's keeper. And so I wanted to be received in the right way. So I check all of that before I communicate what I need. Number one. And then number two, I make sure when I'm evaluating my circle and I'm looking for these purpose partners, I make sure that I've not placed unrealistic and unspoken expectations on other people. Meaning, I cannot get mad with my girlfriend if she doesn't know that I don't like the things that she does. I can't get mad at her if she doesn't know. I can't get mad at my boo thing, my man, my side piece, if he doesn't know these are my expectations of him. I can't get mad at my coworkers because they do their job, especially if I'm their supervisor or I'm their manager and they acting crazy. I can't get mad at them if I've not spoken my expectations. I can't get mad at my parents, my sisters and brothers because they treat me a certain way if I've never spoken my expectations to them. Because all they know is that they can come to JoJo and they can talk to JoJo any kind of way. They can call me, y'all know, I don't know if y'all know, I think I shared this a while back. My nickname inside my family is Peppermint Patty. My cousin Corey calls me Peppermint Patty from Snoopy all the time. So they call me Peppermint Patty. They have called me they've called me all kind of nicknames other than JoJo. And so if my family doesn't know, it bothers me. Can I get mad at them because they don't know? Did I communicate I don't like that? Or let me be clear with that communication. Did I say, hey, I don't like when y'all do that? Or was I laughing and joking when I said I don't like that? So I can't get mad at people for treating me any kind of way when I haven't set that expectation for them to do anything different. I can't get upset with them. So number one, I got to check my mouth, check my attitude, check myself. Number two, I got to make sure I've not put any unrealistic expectations on anybody I'm interacting with. I can't get mad at my man if he doesn't do certain things when I've never spoken my expectations, because unspoken expectations bring about all kind of problems. Please understand that and believe that. So on this journey, please learn from me. I did it all wrong. I did it with all the ego, the mouth, the attitude that I could do it. So I check myself, and then I check to make sure I don't have unrealistic expectations. 3, I make sure I am verbally communicating what I'm expecting. Because the two of them together, once you release yourself Once I stop holding other people, my family and my friends, to the expectation in my head, they stop hurting my feelings. That's because what I thought they should be doing, I was no longer thinking, and I released them from my expectations. A lot of times we get our feelings hurt. And if anybody feel this, let me know. We get our feelings hurt because we have an expectation of our family and our friend. And when they don't act accordingly, our feelings are hurt. Well, she should know because she my sister. He should know because he my man. No. They shouldn't know how you like it. Did you communicate that to them? And so once I let go of my imposed expectations, then my feelings stopped being hurt less, because now I have a different perspective of what they can give, what they can do. So now I check myself, I look at my expectations. Did I communicate clearly? And then number 4, I will go, and I had to work up to the step, because even after that fiasco of being embarrassed or sending that email to 50 people talking junk about how they living their life right. And sometimes let's do a side note. Christians, we can do that too. Hello. We can talk about people, how they not living their life right, and we on the way to hell ourselves. But that's just a side note. So the 4th thing that I do now, and I had to work my way up to this, and until I could do it, I sent it in an email. I sent an email that said, hey, good morning, chica. Good morning, my brother. Good morning, my sister. And I sent it individually. I did not do mass emails. I learned that the hard way. And I sent an individual personalized email, or I wrote them a letter. And eventually I worked my way up to calling them. Hey, again, baby steps. It is about the accumulation of the small steps to get to the transformation. So I said, hey, my sister, I just want to take a minute to apologize to you for the way our relationship has been going. I have placed unrealistic expectations upon you that you may not have known that existed. Like, for instance, I expected you to know these things or to respect this about me, and that was unfair to you because you did not know them. So going forward today, I want us to have a new relationship, a new friendship. I want us to be all the things. So I would love to meet with you so we can talk about the expectations of our relationship. This is what you can expect from me. Please let me know what I can expect to you so that we can have the best relationship for the two of us. When I tell you that's called putting on your big girl panties, leave out the attitude, because when you start with owning it yourself first, the conversation will always turn out different. If I start with pointing a finger first, I'm not going to get the result that I want. So I apologize to my friends for giving them unrealistic and unspoken expectations. I then told them what they could expect from me. Then I asked them, what can I expect from you to be a better friend? And then I also asked, how can I be a friend to you? Some of you guys have gotten those text messages from me, or DMs or messages. How can I be a friend to you today? How can I be helpful to you today? Because friendships are give and take. And so it's a very careful line on this journey to you, the new rules to the new you. And we're living life different than the others. And we are modeling it to our family and to our children. Let's be clear. So can we do it without the attitude? Please learn from me. Do it without the attitude. Do it without the I'm better than you because you ain't nobody, because you choose to sit on your couch and eat your potato chips and watch your TV show because, well, I'm trying to get my life together. Don't do like me. That's my confession for today. Please don't be like JoJo. And no. Take the time, evaluate your circle, make that list of people you interact with every day. How do you feel when you interact with that person? Are they a giver? Are they a taker? Are they a user? And then evaluate how you interact with that person. And then you can have that conversation. It's not always easy to have it. But what you will find along this journey, when you are bound and determined, you're committed and not just interested. When you're disciplined to make it happen, by any means necessary, you'll have that conversation, whether it has to be by text, email, phone call, in person. you will do it. I start out by apologizing, because that could really be do you know, I'll be honest, when I took off my expectations of my family, my sister, my mama, my daddies, when I took off the expectations that I had placed on them that they had no idea about, when I tell you instantly, I had a better relationship with them. I was no longer irritated. I was no longer hurt. I was no longer mad. I was no longer frustrated, because I realized I had brought that upon myself. Like, it was self-imposed. Like, I'm mad because they're not listening or answering or doing this the way I want to, but they never knew that that's what I needed or wanted. When I tell you, my relationship with my family instantly got better, please believe that it did. I'm telling you. Don't be like me. Don't send on this journey to you. Please don't do it with the attitude and the ego of, I'm working on myself, and you're not. You have got to be humble in this experience, because the more humble you are, the easier it is going to be for you to learn, the easier it's going to be for you to transition, and it's going to be easier for those around you to accept your change. Because if I would have continued with my ego of, I'm better than you, but I still want you to be my friend, I probably wouldn't have had friends. I'd probably be sitting in the corner crazy, like, for real, for real. So you got to be humble in all of this process. It is an honor to be your friend. It is a privilege to be your friend, and vice versa. It is a privilege to be their friend. It is a privilege to be in their lives, to share their friendships and their story, because they trust you with things just like you trust them with your stuff. Now, it may not be an even relationship. It may not be the best relationship. It may not even be a relationship that you need. And when you go through your list, you'll figure that out. So I suggest, and that's just me, because that's my confession and conversation for the day. Don't be like JoJo. Don't send out the 50 hate emails with all the paragraphs in it telling them how, y'all, at the time that I sent that email, I was so proud of myself. Like, my chest was out, proud of myself. I was so proud of myself that I finally got off my chest everything that I ever wanted to say. I'm getting my life together, and y'all not, and I'm not trying to be involved with all y'all negativity anymore. And if you got something negative to say, you trying to talk about somebody all the time, don't even come around me. Y'all, I was rolling my head. I was snapping my fingers. I was all the things to 50 people in like 4 paragraphs. This wasn't no light email that I sent. This was 4 paragraphs. Thank God for my counselor, bless her heart, who said, baby, don't ever send an email like that again. She told me to get out of my feelings first. If I need to write it, cool. Write it, don't send it. And then a day or 2 later, you come back and you read it and you readjust yourself. Check your attitude first. My attitude and my ego absolutely got in my way. Out of the 50, only 2 people responded. I was a hot mess, but at the time I didn't know. I thought, I'm living my best life. You know, this counselor is really helping me, and I'm just trying to help all my sisters and my brothers out. But little did I know I was pushing them further away. And so the one sister, you know, as they met and talked about me, they said, love me through it anyway. That's when, did I apologize? I was too embarrassed to apologize. So I didn't send out another 50 emails to apologize to anybody for anything. It took me a minute. I'm talking about a good 6-7 months to a year after that email to apologize. And I said, girl, the one girl, I was like, you know what, Crystal, I am so sorry that I said, you know what, something's been on my mind. She was like, what? I was like, I'm so sorry I sent that email to you talking about, and then it took her a minute. She was like, girl, we thought you was crazy. And we laughed about it. But at the time, I was very serious. So number one, you got to check your ego and your attitude and your mouth. You got to be humble in the experience that you are changing yourself. And the more humble you are, the more people are going to be willing to accept your change. Because if I'm angry and a hot mess about it, then it's not, I'm going to lose vital people in my life that I may still want to be there. I may not like how they're treating me right now, but that doesn't mean once they see the change going on with me that they don't adjust and act accordingly. Because people, this is what I know for myself. When I said about the new rules to the new you, and I did not tell my family that I'm changing how you going to communicate. I did not come out and verbally say this is what's going to happen. I simply changed my expectations of them. I let it go. But I also, I changed my expectations of myself, of my interaction with them. Number 2. And then number 3, I was simply consistent with what I said and how I presented it. When I told my family, I just, I'm tired of complaining, so I'm not going to do it anymore. And so when my family called me to complain, I would say, you know what, I don't want to complain today. Can we talk about something else? Or, and y'all know, sometimes it's hard to do this with your family. Oh, somebody. I had the hardest time. I would stop talking. So if they started complaining, I would just say, oh, well, yeah. Oh, and then I would immediately change the subject. If I saw that they were not catching on the hint that I wasn't participating, I would change the subject. So every time they brought up something negative, I'd be like, you know what happened? Good thing happened to me today. And so I was so consistent with that. So that now when they call and they start to complain, they say, you know what, Jojo, I know you don't even want to hear this mess, so I ain't even going to say nothing else about it. And they would change the subject. And it didn't require me having an attitude. It didn't require me having a smart mouth. It didn't require my ego. It simply required me being humble. Please be humble. And it required me to be consistent and be patient. Because if I want the change to stick, I've got to be patient with myself. And I got to be patient with the people I interact with. It's not fair to expect them to change on the same level and speed that I'm changing. I can expect them to respect that. And if I want them to respect it, then I got to put my big girl panties on and have that conversation. Again, I started out with apologizing, and some people I couldn't have the conversation to their face because I wasn't there yet. I would put my big girl panties on, but honey, they was by my ankles on some people. I couldn't call them because, it was just too much. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to talk to them. Like, I felt nervous. My head hurt. I started to have anxiety attack when I thought about talking to them. I was like, let me send them an email. Because either way I was communicating, I started by, hey, I apologize for me putting an unrealistic and unspoken expectation on you that you didn't even know about. How many of us, if we for real, think about marriage, friendship, relationships, work relationships would be different if we released those unspoken expectations that we have on people? Like, you expect your man to do certain things because he's a man. But does he know that's what you expect of him? Yep, some things are a given. But here's my key. I'd rather over-communicate than leave you guessing about what I want. Because I need you to know all the things that I need, not want. It is a privilege to be my friend just as well as a privilege to be your friend. So if we can communicate what is expected, we can be the best of friends. We can have the best marriage. We can have the best working relationship. And it is truly that simple, y'all. It's that simple. I promise. It may take you a minute to get to that, but please make sure when you do it, you check in your mouth, your attitude. Please make sure you're being humble. And that when you're being humble, because ultimately, and you got to think about what is the end result that you want. And I tell my girls this all the time. So I will tell them, they may get mad about something. And I say, what is the end result that you want out of this situation? So are you going to get more with the honey? Or you going to get more with the other thing? The sugar honey iced tea. So I think about that a lot of times when I used to interact with my staff, even with relationships and I ain't even mad. I've been married, I done had a lot of names. I ain't mad. I learned some things. Don't be crazy like me. And I learned that if I got to think about the end result. And here's where and I'm going to end the show with this. A lot of us say, JoJo, that's just the way I am. I like to give it to you straight, no chaser. JoJo, I don't have a filter on my mouth. My mom and them, everybody been like that. So if I see you in the wrong, I'm just going to have to speak on it, girl. I'm just going to tell you how it is. I can receive what you're saying more if you're coming to me the right way. And a lot of people say, why should it matter? Because information is information, but what's the end result? Because if you're coming to me with your attitude and you're angry and you're upset, or you got your ego on and you're trying to tell me about my life, how I'm doing wrong, I'm not going to accept what you're saying to me because how you brought it to me. It's like, hey, I made you a gourmet meal on this trash can and I need you to eat it. I don't want to eat out of a trash can, but it's a gourmet meal. Don't you see that? Yeah, but it's in a trash can. Your words or your delivery system. What do you expect to get at the end? If you want me to be happy about the gourmet meal you just cooked me, I need you not to bring it in the darn trash can. Can I have a plate, please? I'm going to accept it, digest it, and change and listen to what you have to say more effectively than when you come to me with, let me tell you something, girl. You did wrong for doing this, this, and this. Yeah, and you got to be patient with yourself to get there. And so this is what I found. When people say that and they use all the time, that's just who I am, I'm not going to change, I don't know what else to tell you, I'm a straight shooter. When they say that, this is what it means. And this is my definition, nobody else's. It simply means you have not found a person that you respect enough to mind your words before you speak them. You simply have not found a person that you respect, that you love enough to mind your delivery of your words to them. Because if you want me to receive it in love, if you want me to receive, forget love, if you want me to receive anything that you have to say, then you're going to be mindful of the delivery system that you're going to put it out to me. Because if you want me to reciprocate back to you what you're putting into me, if you put in attitude, what do you get out? What do you get back? When you yell at your kids, do they not move slower? If you have an attitude with your man, does he not have one back? If you're immediately mad, are they not immediately mad? What is the end result that you want? So if the end result is I want a better relationship than perhaps I wanted a better friendship with my 50 friends and co-workers and people I interacted with. Perhaps me coming to tell them straight shooting from I'm going to counseling, I'm living my best life, and this is how y'all doing wrong. Maybe it wasn't received because my delivery of the trash can. Because what I said was, hey, I'm working on myself and this is really important to me. And I really want y'all to be my friends, but these are my expectations. That was what I wanted. But somewhere right in here, I put it in the garbage can and I handed it to them. And they didn't receive it. They sent the trash can right back to me. So when you think about that, think about your delivery, be humble. People will receive it more. Number one, you're going to listen more. Number two, and you're possibly going to get the result that you need. And then number four, most importantly, they will respect your change in your space even greater because they know that you are coming from a place. I'm genuine. I'm on. I ain't coming to you with no attitude, no pretenses. I'm simply saying, this is what I need and this is what I expect. Right? If you value your relationship, you protect it. Absolutely. So don't be like JoJo. The feeling style for the day is don't be like JoJo. Don't send that. I was a hot 38 mess. Don't be like me, y'all. Don't do that. I started once I learned the right way, and I didn't learn that technique from a counselor. I learned that over reading books and putting things together, that when you start out being humble, they're going to receive it more. And then it was honestly the inside work that made me realize that if the end result, this is what I want, maybe I need to give it to them differently. So I'm going to apologize, because that's true. I had unrealistic and I had unrealistic expectations and unspoken expectations of you that you knew nothing about. I got to apologize for that, because that's my fault. That's my fault. So I'm starting out with what I did wrong. And then I say, I'm going to close it out by, how can I be a better friend to you? Please tell me your expectations of me, because they may have unspoken expectations of me that I know nothing about. And that's why the friendship's not working. That's why the marriage is not working. The relationships, the work, that could be it's simple as that. We have unspoken, unrealistic expectations of each other, and we together, and we steady doing this, bumping heads, but we don't know why. It's because you expect one thing, but we ain't never said what we expect together. I'm just saying. Give them the dignity and the respect of saying, you are important to me, so I'm going to apologize first of what I've placed on you that you didn't even know I did. Leave them with some dignity and some respect. Then they're going to be like, you know what? Then it's going to leave them in a space to check themselves. You know what? Maybe JoJo was right. Maybe I've been thinking this about her, and she didn't even know I was thinking that about her. And it's going to open up the door for conversations that you never knew that you needed. I promise. All right, guys. I hope this has helped somebody. I hope my confession and conversation has helped somebody today. Today, don't be like JoJo. On this Thankful Thursday, what other Thursday is this? Thankful Thursday, Thinking Thursday, Miss Margaret in the mornings. Please make sure you share the video. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, we do have a YouTube channel where you can binge watch all of the Fearless Morning shows over there. They are by topic and by title. If you simply type in Fearless Morning Show, we will come up. If your friends and family do not have social media, I will post the link again, like I do at the end of every show, where they can sign up to get the Fearless Thought of the Day delivered to their email, so they can have it every day, because it is my purpose as a space giver, and it's my purpose as the only Live Past Crazy specialist to say something that's going to help somebody. I don't want this to be a one-way street where I'm just talking to y'all and y'all don't say nothing back. If I've helped, please let me know. If I ain't, please let me know. If you don't want to hear it no more, let me know. This is a communication. We all friends over here. Please make sure you check out the website, livepastcrazy.com. Order your I Am My Sister's Keeper t-shirt so that you can have it as a reminder that you are your sister's keeper. All right, guys, I hope you have an amazing Thursday, and I will see you here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.